just asked Van, is there any units that kind of fear that Bama should fear? What gives you so much confidence that Bama's going to roll into this thing?
Well, a few things. When you look at Florida State, they got 6 starters coming back. Only one of those on offense, 5 on defense, obviously. And, they had to hit the portal again heavy. And, that's a good thing and a bad thing. I've said this for a while. It's Florida State, North Carolina, Kentucky are 3 teams I'm having a tough time roster-wise getting my kind of getting a pulse on without really watching them play. I think Norvell is a hell of a coach. Regardless of what the reports say, there were people in Alabama that think he's a good coach too. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless, there's a reason he got a raise 2 years ago too, right? So he's a hell of a coach. Gus Malzahn obviously is a hell of a coach, has done it for a long time in this league. Thomas Castellano is coming over from Boston College. I think he fits what Gus wants to do offensively, but on top of what Squirrel White can do, right? So we've seen him play in the league for a while, but there's just a lot of moving parts, and there's a reason all-star teams don't work all the time, right? And so it's about how they mesh together and how they're going to play as a team. Are they talented? Yeah, they'll have talented guys, but how well do they mesh and play together? That's kind of the mystery of the portal. And I think I think last year Florida State kind of saw the bad part of that. I think Lane has seen the bad part of that early in his tenure at Ole Miss. He's a big portal guy, and then kind of got it figured out a little bit and got more team guys in last year, and had enough guys. The trick, I think, to the portal is not about how many you take. You got to have the right guys and the right culture inside your program to kind of, hey, let those guys. This is how I know how you've done it in the past. This is how we do things here. And you can't have, like Coach Saban always said, we can't have a team full of independent contractors, right? So you got to have a team there. Now, from a schematic standpoint and just game plan stuff, I hope I'm not talking over everybody's head right here, but I think in that defense, I'm very familiar with that defense. Gone against it, Rocky Long and those guys a few times. I think you're going to see from an Alabama perspective, I think you'll see Grubbs mix in a good bit of 12 personnel Saturday. Because that's what calms it down. That's 2 tight ends, 2 wide. That's what calms down their defense a little bit. When you are an aggressive defense like that and you like to move around, gap integrity is critical. And once you're able to line up scrimmage to create more gaps and multiple gaps, that forces them to calm down and not be moving around as much. I think that's one thing when they were at San Diego State, they had so much success there. It's because everybody was 10 or 11 personnel, and they gave 2x2 pictures or any kind of 3x1 with an H-back picture. And so you knew what you were getting, and they just teed off. They waited on the quarterback to clap, and here they just teed off because the pictures never moved, right? And I think that changing cadence, which is tough sometimes early in the season offensively, sometimes you outsmart yourself. But I think changing cadence, getting in some 12 personnel will calm that stuff down and force them for gap integrity. For the run game. I think they're going to be a little bit more aggressive on you're going to see a little bit more aggression out of that defense early in downs, trying to get Ty Simpson in his first start, basically to I know it's not, but his first real start, getting behind the chains, trying to create some negative plays early in situations. And so I think, Alabama's got good coaches too, right? So they know that, and you got to be able to counteract it on the front end of the game plan.
Good stuff, man. We're just, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope I didn't confuse anybody. I know
that's what you call football church, and I